Hey everybody, it's Deo Taiwan here, and today is going to be my first ever coaster review, and it's going to be at my home park, Canada's Wonderland, and it is called Behemoth. Behemoth is a B&M hypercoaster that opened at Canada's Wonderland in 2008. It is a height of 230 feet tall, a duration of around 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and it goes 130 kilometers an hour. So it's a pretty fast ride. It's around 135 kilometers an hour. And it was actually my first ever tall roller coaster. Like, it was my first ever world-class coaster I've been on. I've been on, like Vortex at Wonderland, Flight Deck, Time Warp, those. But I mean, Vortex I consider world-class, but I mean, Behemoth was like the first big world-class coaster. And fun fact, it was my first ever hyper coaster and my first ever B&M roller coaster. So for people that don't know, B&M stands for Bulliger and Mabillard. So yeah, B&M have been making coasters since 1990 with Iron Wolf, which is now Firebird at Six Flags America. So yeah, Behemoth came out in 2008. I was pretty nervous, and I've been on this ride many times, and I will give it, like, out of a lot of things. So with airtime, I'm giving it a 10. It is an amazing airtime machine. It is so smooth, so much fun. And like I said, it's a great world-class B&M hypercoaster. And fun fact, it was also Cedar Fair's first B&M hypercoaster. Because before it was Behemoth, second one was Diamondback in 2009, and then 2010 was Intimidator at Carowinds. So Behemoth was the first B&M hypercoaster to go into the Cedar Fair chain at the time, and it really put Wonderland on the map as being a world-class coaster. And then a few years later, they added Leviathan. Leviathan will be my next review, but no, for duration, I'm giving it another, I'm giving it another 10 out of 10. It's a good long ride. It's really fun. For smoothness, I'm giving it another 10 out of 10. It does have a B&M rattle to it now, but it doesn't bother me. Some people it bothers people, but it doesn't bother me at all. It's still butter smooth, and it's still good. My only complaint with Behemoth is that there's this one trim break on the ride, and it's after the first turn. It's after the first hammerhead turn on the ride, and there's this one trim break that really hits hard, so it kind of lacks some airtime moments. But most of the ride is just airtime. And last year, 2019, oh my god, it was like one of the best rides ever. I had to put it somewhere in my close to my top 10. But no, Behemoth is like amazing. It's an amazing B&M coaster. And a lot of people don't really talk about it. Like, I know it's in Canada. Most enthusiasts are mostly from America, and I respect, if their favorite coaster was Mako or something, I respect that. But people should look more into Behemoth, because Behemoth is like a really, really good B&M hyper. And I think it should be up there with like Goliath at Over Georgia and Mako, because from my rides in the past and now, like, holy crap, it's an amazing B&M hyper, guys. The back row, I will have to say, is the best seat. Like, front is good, but I will say the back row is the best. If I have for theming, there's no theming. It's a 0, but I mean, it's an amazing ride. Like I said, restraints, I'm giving it a 10. I love the B&M clamshell restraints. They're an amazing addition, and I just love the overall experience of Behemoth. It's such a great ride. I definitely I'm going to be giving it a 10 out of 10 for me. It's an amazing coaster. Like I said, it's over 10 years old now. It's turning 12 this year. Yeah, turning 12 years old. So, it came out in 2008. It's now 2020, so yeah, it's old, but I mean, it's still running good for an old ride. And yes, it has a rattle, but it doesn't bother me. It has a noticeable B&M rattle that kind of rattles the restraint, but I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. Some enthusiasts get mad by it, but it doesn't bother me at all. Another thing I love about Behemoth too is just the airtime, those turns, and it's just a lot of fun. You get a lot of good airtime moments on it, and I decided to put that as my first ever coaster review because it was my first ever world-class big coaster. And, you know, Behemoth opened the doors for other rides like Leviathan, Fury 325, Diamondback, you know, Steel Vengeance, Millennium Force, Maverick, all those world-class coasters. And Behemoth really opened the doors for me. So I really hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for more content coming. And this is Deo Taiwan. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.